This is a two-part review. We're going to start with the new data file on the Supermarine Spitfire, the Merlin powered variants, and we will then go on to look at the new Revell 1/32 scale Supermarine Spitfire in test shot form. The Datafle series of books has been around for over 16 years now, so really most modelers will be very familiar with the layout and contents. We start with a look at the history of the Merlin Spitfire. That also includes the Seafire variants. Moving on, we have a history of all the kits that were in production in 2000, plus a number of colour profiles. Artwork is used to clearly show the interior of the Spitfire, with a key guiding you to the instruments. Line drawings show the differences between the various marks and also production runs. Walk around photographs of Spitfire's marks 1, 2, 5, 9 and 16 will be of great use to the modeller. There is a large number of period technical diagrams as well, which clearly illustrate areas which are normally not covered in most reference books. We then come to a section which covers modelling the Spitfire in 1/72 scale. Again, this was produced in the year 2000 and covers 8 different models. This is followed by a section on camouflage and markings, which goes through the evolution of the schemes applied to the Spitfire and Seafire. The last part of the book, and the new section, which it covers 14 pages, brings the Spitfire story up to date with all the kits that have been released. This includes Edward's 1/44 scale Spitfire, Tamiya's 1/32 scale Spitfire, and Trumpeter's 1/24 scale Spitfire. As in many data files, the title is finished with the set of plans in 1/48 scale covering all the major variants. This is a limited run reprint, so there's not many copies of this issue been produced. So if you missed out first time round, this might be your last opportunity to collect this Supermarine Spitfire Merlin powered variant. It is available to order from the Sam Publications website and also at many model shows around the country from the Sam stand, including Milton Keynes Modelcraft and the IPMS US Nationals in Hampton. Now we can move on to the Revell 1/32 scale Spitfire Mark IIA. I will start by saying that this is a test shot. There might well be changes between this and the production variant that will be in the shops in approximately 4 to 6 weeks time. Though, to be honest, I'm not expecting that much. We do not have the box, we do not have a proper set of instructions. This is a photocopy and of course closely bears resemblance to what will be in the box. No real surprises that you can see from the instructions. It is a very conventionally constructed kit, but the cockpit is very, very well detailed and certainly gives the Tamiya kit a run for the money. Here we have one of the fuselage halves. Now, on the internet forums, there have been a number of comments about the detail on this kit. I'm going to try and zoom in and see if I can show this. It features a mixture of very, very fine recessed detail. Now, I will say that under a coat of paint, I don't think this will be very visible. At the nose section and a few other areas we also have some raised detail. Again, maybe a touch overdone, but actually looks really quite nice. And again, a little bit of sandpaper if you don't like it, easily removes it. If you do like it, I think again it will look quite good under a coat of paint. The wing section features the same fine recessed detail that we found on the fuselage. Again, I think it looks quite nice. They certainly have captured the subtle gull wing effect. Of note are the separate wingtips. This points to later variants to come. The upper surfaces of the wing, again, very fine detail. Now as I zoom out, this will disappear. Now this is why I have a problem with the forums. I think people have jumped on this kit a bit early. When you see a very, very close-up shot of a model, it might look a bit garish, but in reality, it actually looks very, very acceptable. This sprue features the tail planes, the sidewalls for the cockpit, and the wheel well inserts. Okay, now I do say that most of the detail on the kit is acceptable, but I do say on the tail surfaces, like many manufacturers, they have raised these large strikes. I'm not quite sure what they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to represent the ribs. In reality, these are nice and taut and quite smooth, so sandpaper job to remove them, I'm afraid, but not exactly anything that's complicated for a modeller to achieve. The next sprue deals with details mostly for the cockpit and the ailerons. On the right here we have a really nice rear bulkhead. All the holes are pre-drilled for you, something that I had to do manually on the Tamiya kit. Instrument panel looks quite nice. There is a little bit of a boo-boo in that the dials on the left and right have been reversed, so they're in the wrong positions. Not really noticeable unless you have a Spitfire data file book to hand, but if you are that bothered, Edouard's instrument panel would easily replace this, and I'm sure more will follow. Detail in the upper section includes the throttle quadrants and other parts of the cockpit. Again, not quite up to resin standards, but for plastic, very, very nice. Another area of concern that's been raised on the forums is the undercarriage legs. Now, initially they do look a little bit short, but in fact it's made up from two sections. You can see them here, the left and the right. They actually join together. Not quite sure why Revell chose to engineer them like this, and I'm not sure if that's going to make them a little bit weaker than you would want. I'm sure Scale Aircraft Conversions will have a white metal set in production shortly. Exhausts, two parts. Now that's actually quite handy because they have a realistic drilled out look once joined together. Something that's actually quite hard to achieve if the shape of the exhaust pipe is not circular, in my experience. The kit does come with 4 propeller blades. Yes, you only need 3. This is just the way they've moulded it. It's not really a problem, just something to be aware of. It's quite amusing. This sprue is duplicated, so you do get 4 propeller blades, though only 3 are required on the completed models. The wheels, well, they're quite nice, but again, I'm not quite sure about them. They look a little bit small. I think I'll be replacing mine with the set from Barracuda cast. This sprue contains the spinner and its back plate. Looks quite accurate when compared to the plans in the data file. The clear parts are really, really nice. Super clear. The armoured windscreen is supplied separately, so you can do both an early and late type windshield. Not sure if the canopy is positionable in the open position. It is very, very thin. We'll have to wait until I assemble the model to actually find out if we can show the canopy open or if you have to have it in the closed position. The decal sheet has been produced in Italy to a very, very high standard. The instrument panel is supplied also as a decal, but is also reversed, so it's actually again the wrong way around, exactly the same as the instrument panel. One of the reasons why I don't think we'll see that corrected in the production kit. Markings are supplied for 2 options, the first from 19 Squadron at Falmere, and the second from number 65 Squadron, Curtin and Lindsay. Both of these are in the standard dark green, earth and sky undersurfaces colour scheme. Out of the box, this will make an accurate Supermarine Spitfire Mark II, in my opinion. Detail is first rate, and though I have mentioned a number of aftermarket manufacturers that you might want to consider, it's really down to the individual modeller. The big benefit of this kit is the price. £22.99 in the UK, it's an absolute bargain, and I will certainly be laying down a few. Further variants to come, obviously, by the way the tools are split, points to it being a really good time to be a Spitfire modeller. Aftermarket accessories are available, as I have mentioned, but it is down to the individual whether you choose to buy them. But certainly adding them to this kit is not going to break the bank. The closest rival is the Tamiya kit, and we all know how much that retails for. Our thanks to Revell Germany for supplying us with this advanced test shot. And bear in mind that some details may change when you compare it to the finished model on your shelves in May.